Give me a minute. All right. Uh, well, today's already starting out horrible, not for the markets, but just for me. Andrew Robb. At least your day's over, Andrew. Mine's just getting started. They're supposed to start my roof today, and they didn't tell me they'd be here at 5:30 in the morning. Then they rang my doorbell at 5:30 in the morning to tell me they weren't doing my roof. And then I've been fighting with building my website ever since. That's fun. What the fuck is HTML so hard? Yeah, and then they're supposed to. My AC's got a very interesting leak. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Exactly. So my roof's got this interesting leak. It doesn't leak when it rains. It leaks when it rains and is really heavy winds, like 20, 30 miles an hour. And then he talks about my AC. He's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna have to take that off. But the other guy was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to take that off. And I was, well, the insurance company's paying for it, so I ain't paying for shit. But still, anyway. Sorry, I'm grumpy. Oh, and I went to bed late last night, like really late, like 1 in the morning, late. My mind just wouldn't shut off. And then I got woke up at 5:30. Yeah, right, Andrew. That'd be hilarious. Okay, I'm writing that down. Andrew, I'm writing that down, my friend. Where's my phone? Oh, it's in my bedroom. Hold on a second. Oh, I saw a headline on my phone. It said, U.S. added more jobs than expected in July as unemployment rate fell. That means the market's going to tank. Being held up by money, don't you know that, people? Just don't go back to work. Everything will be fine. Yeah. So add on to that, Andrew. What if you have like the fire department, a police helicopter, the bomb squad show up, the SWAT team show up, and they knock on your door. Okay, okay, just so you know, your house isn't on fire. No one's, anyway, a little too far there, but pretty good. All right, that's pretty good. At least it's Friday. Is it though? Apparently it's Friday. All right, so what's up today? Not a whole heck of a lot. We got a few things. Peloton, AMD pays, Restoration Hardware, Roku back down. We just want you to know you are fine. There's nothing wrong, okay? I love it, Andrew. That'd be a great YouTube video. That would be a fantastic YouTube video. You're just you're just driving around. You're just driving around in a fire truck or something like that, or a police car, just lights blaring. And you go, what's wrong? Nothing. Everything. You're okay. Just want you to know. Just wanted you to know. Came in here to tell you that you're fine. You are fine. There's nothing wrong. We have similar senses of humor. It works. iRobot. NASDAQ down 0.25%. Nothing too bad. Anik Winnebago, one of the ones we were kind of liking the setup on. Not looking so hot today on the daily. Yesterday was kind of a big down day, but not too bad. Peloton looks like it's still kind of sitting upside here in this base. Still working pretty good. AMD kind of bouncing around the flat level here. Yeah. AMD's just kind of slowly working its way up. Doesn't look like it, still doesn't look like it wants to sell off. It's GBTC doing today, down 4%. I guess it didn't have the overnight bounce they were expecting or something. Yeah, it's a good little down move there for those guys. NIO. Yeah, kind of a boring day today. D-Dog have earnings? They did. And they were better. It's not dropping very far. Actually, looks like it's kind of right at a support point for D-Dog. But maybe good for a longer term hold or something. Silver down about 10% today. Well, this is USLVF. This is 3 times silver. Means that SLV is probably only down. It's down a lot less. AMD negative now. Yeah, not much going on today. Yeah. Buy silver on pullback. I don't know. Well, it's not pulling back quite yet. Let's see. Like I was looking at this last night, going, "Damn, what a heck of a move." Hasn't fully hit my measured move target up here, but it's 75% into it, which I consider a hit technically. Those are 3 just excellent volume days in silver. When you get days like that, I mean, you know something's up. I was looking at this weekly chart, and I don't think this quite goes back to the prior bull run in silver. Oh, I guess this one, oh, this one does. To 48. We're only at 25. Silver, keep in mind gold's at all-time highs. And silver likely has a way to go. So we're kind of in this weird middle ground at the moment. So last time we ran up pretty big, then we stalled out for a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 14 weeks before we really started the next ramp up. And this was only a two-legged pony. So we could do something similar, but we're only 3 weeks into that first leg, but they're big moves. So it's hard to say exactly how it's going to play out in terms of week to week, day to day. But yeah, I don't mind buying silver on a pullback in this situation. Obviously, it's in straight up bull mode. Kind of using the pie method on it. There's your supportive trend line. You can probably get rid of some of these, all of these actually. They don't need to be here. That looks like that would be a, yeah, so that's your supportive trend line at the moment for silver. It's on a big uptrend. Yeah, so if it breaks that in benign volume, then you have some pie rules that come into play based on how to handle that. And then we obviously know GLD is an all-time highs. That's got to be down a little bit today too. It is. That's parabolic from 170 up to 194. Crazy move. Yeah, right? Right, Rob? That's what I was saying. I was looking at it going, wow, that's a lot of work. Morning, Ellie. A little bit of a red day. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Everything's just kind of floundering about. Kind of a boring day. We'll see what happens towards the end of it, but so far not much of anything actually. Got everything about a little bit. Nothing too big, nothing too low. RKT, let's check it out. We finally get a price. Looks like we do. So, um, I'm not a big fan of buying IPOs super early. I look for what's called an IPO base, which is for price to start coming down, indicating some type of selling pressure, and then for it to rebound back above whatever high it's already placed. So let's say, for instance, today it never goes above that 26 whatever, uh, and then it just goes back down for a week or two, and then it can bounce back up, and then you can buy it at that high or that 26. That would confirm, at least confirm distribution had an opportunity and they didn't want to distribute. That's essentially what a base is, and an IPO base as well. Yeah, a few things went up, a few things went down. Yeah, kind of a yeah, it's all over the place. Net starting to get some momentum. Oh, it's got a tiny cup and handle. Maybe good for a trade actually. Five broke the moving averages. I'm a little bit more interested in net right here. Let's take a look at five though. And yeah, see, this isn't doing anything here necessarily at the moment. And I don't know what moving averages you're referring to. Five is still well below all of them actually. So, but net up 5% is pretty good. This is breaking into all-time highs again. Boom, supportive right there. And that's it. That's all you get for net. That's your IPO period right there, your first 50 days. And then, yeah, we're kind of off to the races here. It's hard to know exactly what to expect. I just try to reach for some type of a measured move when I'm doing my targets. That only gets us up to 50. Has pretty good volume this morning, right here. Definitely elevated. Any news? Oh, okay. Looks like Wells Fargo raising price targets. What? Trust raises price targets? Why is everyone raising price? Oh, they just had earnings. That's why. 50 from 30, 30 from 24, 43 from 39, 50 from 47, 50 from 48. Weird. It's all over the place. Okay, so they had earnings, but not blockbuster. They didn't have a huge gap up. They're the leader on the day, though, at least on our actionable list. Let's go check out global watch list. Biogen up 11%, and not even on earnings. Oh, looks like they just cured Alzheimer's. Joking. FDA accepts application for experimental Alzheimer's drug. Oh, that's a good thing. AMN, T-Mobile gapping up on earnings. That's pretty big for garbage T-Mobile. No, Andrew, I was joking. I said I was joking right afterwards. I don't want anyone to get, whatever, hopes up or whatnot. Shen after earnings looking really good right here. Actually, quite a few pocket pivots. One, two, three pocket pivots here recently. That's pretty good for Shen. Oh, I told you, Andrew, man, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, so I'm about as sharp as Ellie right now. Boom! Ellie joke. Yeah, Shen not looking too bad. on. Gotta give credit where credit's due. That was a little funny. That was a little funny. Come on. Come on. You've been calling me boomer for the past week. If I actually had feelings, they would be hurt. Wow, Shen has a lot of premium built into these stupid options. They think very highly of their options. Not enough for a trade. That's a tough one. Oh, that's because they had this big run right there. Rob, when you said that, I pictured it in like an old timey 50s, 1930s gangster voice. Hey, Eli's sharper than sharp cheddar, Shay. That's exactly that's exactly how I pictured you saying that. I was complaining about this generation. Was I? Was I actively complaining? I don't know. I don't remember. My mind's mush right now. It's here, but it's not. It's my part of my mind's still trying to sleep. And my wife's going into work today, so I'm screwed today at home with the kids, which means I'm going to take a 6 hour nap because well, I couldn't sleep. My mind just wouldn't shut off. Um, and I hate fighting that. So I just got up and came back in here, and then SpaceX was launching a rocket, and I was watching the Everyday Astronaut, and then I started like watching his live stream with like 25,000 people on it. I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of people. And then I started getting kind of back on the horse of doing stuff, and then I was building my courses, and then I'm like, okay, I finally need to go to bed. And then, oh yeah, you missed the first part of the of my story today, Ellie. So we're getting my roof replaced, and my roofing guy didn't tell me he was coming at 5:30 in the morning. So he showed up at 5:30 in the morning after I went to bed at 1 in the morning. So I'm running like 4.5 hours of sleep here. I feel relatively good for 4.5 hours of sleep. But he rang my doorbell. Oh, funny thing. So my alarm went off because yesterday I had to get up at 5:30 and I forgot to turn my alarm off. So I'm up at 5. So my alarm went off on my phone. I turned it off, turned on my 6:15 alarm, and then like the second I put my phone down, the doorbell rang. I thought that was interesting. And then I go to the door, I'm like, hello. And he goes, oh yeah, hi. The roof stuff's not here today, so we're not gonna be doing the roof today. We're gonna do it on Monday, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh fuck. So then he woke me up to tell me he's not doing my roof. And yeah, and then Rob said I was ugly when I started the stream. It's just been a weird morning. I'm like, you could have just shot a text message. Hey, it's 5:30. It's early, so I'm not gonna ring your doorbell. But the roof materials aren't here. Call me when you're up. Something like that. I've done that before to customers. I'm like, hey, it's too early. At least I can still be in my damn bed. But there were different people actually. The roofing guy versus the guy that came to my door. There were two different people. Anyway, yeah, Shen's not bad right here. I kind of like it out of this little setup. The options market doesn't seem to be on my side, but could be. Oh, Etsy's on a tear. Didn't realize that. AMC Chegg. There's Roku. Roku's doing pretty good. Holding relatively well. Nice little pullback trade desk. Trying to get up. Don't think it has a lot of volume on that last run up. IIPR doing okay. NBev. Facebook another new high today. Why the hell is Facebook running? Yes, Rob, I've seen it and still wasn't good enough to buy. ServiceNow, not too bad. I think Rob's finally showing us his true personality. Yeah, actually, I mean, I do like NIO for a number of reasons, at least from what I found. Yeah, I do like NIO. I don't know which has more upside potential, NIO or Tesla. It's difficult to say because I don't know enough about NIO and the Chinese market generally, or if NIO is going to be exporting. I guess you could probably do some research. Do some research, Andrew. I mean, it's got a relatively small market cap. Like you look at Tesla's $300 billion market cap. Where's FinViz? It's got to be on my favorites here. I like it, Rob. Sometimes I'm just on my own tangents. Yeah, so Tesla's got like a, 288 billion market cap. NIO has a super low market cap, 16 billion, which isn't much at all, really comparatively. So sales of 1 billion to 16, obviously that's 16 times. Let's see what Tesla's is. My my brain's not working, so I'm just gonna multiply 25 times 16. 400 billion. So actually, Tesla's a better bargain right now than NIO is. I'm not exactly sure, Andrew. I know it's thousands though. Those like 10,000 or something. Tesla isn't just cars. NIO is cars. If Tesla stock reflected the cars section, it would be too overpriced. Well, according to this, it's by market cap in terms of sales. Tesla's actually undervalued compared to NIO. It should be at 400 billion if you were going by NIO's valuations, just going off sales and market cap for whatever that's worth. And probably throw a few different metrics on here, but yeah, Tesla's got a lot of cash right now. 186 million shares times $44 a share, 744 million. That's pretty good. Oh, that's wrong. Thought that looked too low. Yeah, 8 billion cash. That's pretty good. How much debt do they have? Just curious. 1.43. I don't. That's debt to equity. So is that? I'm not sure. Total debt to equity. I don't know. It's like an NAO versus Tesla sales. This was relatively recent. It's good. About a month and a half ago. Whoa! Holy ad. I was looking for big numbers. I didn't. Oh, here we go. Tesla, 360,000 cars. Doesn't tell me what I want to know. They delivered 20,500 cars last year, an 81% year over year increase. Gross margin remaining negative. Does a business capital raised from sold shares on a stock market go directly to the business shareholders? Are they shareholders' equity, or does a business need to pay a fee to accept the raised capital? Well, the business. Okay, so this is how an IPO works. So Elon owns all of Tesla, right? He owns let's just say he owns all of it. He owns all of Tesla. He wants to go public. He's going to call an investment bank like a Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs or one of those. There's some that only do IPOs and stuff like that. There's a lot of regulations. They deal with the exchanges. They do a lot of stuff that the company's only going to do one time. They do it every day. So they go ahead and they use those companies for their expertise. So Elon's got, 100 million shares of Tesla. You need something? I put it in there. Yep. So yeah, they go to Goldman Sachs, and he goes, "Hey, I want to sell. I got 100 million shares." And they go, "Okay, how many do you want to put on the open market?" Let's just say he says, "I want to put 80 million." So they're going to keep 20 million shares in house, 80 million sell it to the public. So right now Tesla has zero cash and 80 million shares. Probably they're going to give some shares to the institution, which is usually how it works. They get like, I don't know how much percent, 1 or 2 or 3% or something like that. So they get some shares as part of their fee, and probably some cash, or however they want to work that deal. And then they go to the exchange, blah blah blah. They list it. Then IPO day comes. Tesla goes public at $100 a share, and let's just say they sell all 80 million shares at $100. They keep that $100 of those 80 million shares, or 79 million after they give a million to Goldman Sachs or whatever. They keep that money, and that's the transaction. Now, the shareholder equity is just a calculation of market cap. Essentially, what we're looking at here, like with this, that's just shareholder equity. Shareholder equity is the value of the stock at any given moment, which, as we know, changes very fluidly. So market cap and shareholder equity change constantly. In that same example, Tesla keeps as a company 20 million shares, which is actually happenstance what they own here. So shares outstanding is how many shares that Tesla told the government or the state or whatever entity. Um, so they say, okay, we're gonna have 186,000 shares, and they give 148.4 to the stock market. So that's the float. Nope. No, they got their money for the $100. That's it. It's actually extraordinarily simple transaction. It's like going to a swap. It's like going to Walmart and you buying something at Walmart. If you resell it, Walmart doesn't care what you sell it for. It's literally just a thing after it goes public. Yeah, Tesla gets nothing. NIO gets nothing. They don't get anything. Now, that 20 million shares, let's say Tesla needs to raise some capital. Let's say they want to sell a gigafactory, or they want to raise gigafactory funding. What they could do is say, okay, our shares are 1484. We need to raise $1 billion. Well, this is one of the ways that it can improve the business. Let's say they want to raise $1 billion. Okay, it's a very simple example. Let's just say they want to raise $1 billion, and they go, well, we don't want to do a debt offering for whatever reason, like issue a bond or something like that. We don't want to take out a loan. What we want to do is have a no cost to us way of raising that $1 billion. They can take those 20 million shares divided by 1484. They can sell 673,854 shares just like you would if you wanted to raise $1 billion. So they could, that's how they could raise capital if they wanted to do something. It Picture your business like your house. Picture a company like your house, but you have shares in it, like it's split up. Okay, once you buy your house, it's your house. The previous seller doesn't care about it. Just the shares and stuff. Uh, get the business, Andrew. If the business wants their shares back. So in real life right now, Tesla has from well, you own them. Are you going to sell them back to Tesla? They're your property. You own them. They're as much your property as your underwear. If Tesla wanted to buy your underwear, they would have to call you and say, "Hey, I want to buy your underwear for 2 cents," because I ain't no one's buying your underwear, Andrew. And then just the same with the Tesla stock. You own it. It's yours. They can't get it back. It's not a loan. They don't own it. They sold it. I'll talk about buybacks in a second, Ellie. Yeah, it's okay. So what they would do is they would, in realistic example, they would go back to Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs. They would say, "Hey, I want to raise $1 billion," and Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, number one, would try to take 673,854 shares and see if anyone just wanted to buy them. They would go to another Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs or hedge fund or ARK Investing and say, "Hey, you want to buy Tesla wants to sell 673,000 shares for $1 billion. Do you want to buy it?" They'd go, "Yeah, sure." And then they would buy the shares. That's it. It's extraordinarily simple transaction. It's extraordinarily simple. Tesla right now still has, 18.4 million shares, or no, it's more than 18. It's like 34.4 million shares. If they wanted to raise $1 billion, they could sell this, or they could sell it on the open market again. And I'm not sure the mechanisms of that, or they could just go on the market and just sell 673,000 shares and have some trader do it and pay him a nominal fee. It's it's like literally super simple. They have shares, the market, they can go to the institutions, like I said, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and see if somebody just wants to buy the whole thing, or they can crowd fund it to the to the public through the markets generally. So Tesla has 186 million shares. Elon owns 20% of those personally, right? He owns 20% of those. You know, you own four of those. Yes, exactly. Yeah, because when these guys IPO'd, I think they IPO'd for like $17 or something in 2011 or whatever it was. And so yeah, that's the money they got. That was it. That was it. And everything else is. I mean, it's a super super simple, Andrew. Like just the easiest example is how it is. Well, what percent? Well, you just do the simple math right there. You do 148 divided by 186. It's like 21%. Doesn't seem right. Seems small. Huh. Okay. I guess 21%. Well, no, no, no. You're right here, buddy. Shares outstanding, not market cap. Shares outstanding. It's the number of shares. Shares outstanding. Shares float is what's available on the stock exchange itself. That's what Tesla has sold to the public that they don't keep for themselves. It's like if you could sell a portion of your car or your like yeah, like I said, your house, sell a portion of your house. Shares outstanding. So the shares outstanding times 1484.17 equals 288.61. That's the equation. It's a boom. It's a times B equals C equation. Is exactly what it is. So in theory, well, not in theory, but in practice, so what they have, let's do 186 minus 148.4 times 1484.17. So they have 55.8 billion potential. I'm not sure what the unlisted shares are called. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. I think there's, I mean, probably just unlisted shares. Actually, that sounds vaguely familiar. But they usually reference the float because no one cares how many shares that Tesla has. They only care what's floated on the market. So then back to what Ellie was talking about earlier. He's talking about stock buybacks. Correct. Yeah. And then another 20% Elon Musk owns. So this is how it works. You have 186 million shares, okay, times zero point 0.8, which is what the company owns. So that means that 148.8 million shares available to trade. Elon owns 20%. So times zero point 0.8 again, now you're down to 119 million shares available. And then what you see here, institute institutional ownership is 54% institutional ownership. I'm not sure if that includes Elon or not, to be honest with you. I don't know that. Um, I'd have to start my calculation over. But eventually, what you boil down to is how many shares are freely floated on the market, is what you end up with eventually. So you just say like 148.4. Oops. So that's how many shares are floated on the market. Institutions own 54.2, so there's left 46, 45.8. So 67,967,200 shares are what are available for general people to trade with in the markets at 1484 a share at the moment. So that's what's available well, kind of technically, because some people there's going to be individuals like that number of institutional ownership, like long-term holders, could be much larger. We don't know. But then let's say you look at Apple. I think Apple has like 90% institutional ownership or something. A lot of big stocks have huge. No, that's only 61%, really. Some of these have 68. No, it doesn't seem right. Oops. I was just gonna. Some reason American Airlines popped into my head. 50% institutional ownership. Have they changed that? Because I those were in the 90s. That's weird. Coca-Cola? They're huge. 69% institutional. Okay. Well, anyway, you get the kind of the general gist. So you can see here, Coca-Cola pretty much sold everything. They only have 0.03 billion shares that they hold. So Ellie was talking earlier about stock buybacks. One thing Apple does continuously and has done for many years now. Come on, you piece of garbage. Why are you lagging, computer? Shouldn't be lagging. Okay, so this is so weird. They do a lot of stock buybacks. So when you hear something about stock buybacks, I always wonder why they don't reduce the flow. Maybe they see Apple shares outstanding. Apple does a lot of buybacks, a lot, because they make a lot of money. So there you go. Okay, so companies do stock buybacks whenever a company makes so much money. This is literally what it is. So much money they cannot possibly do anything else to grow the business. They can't sell more iPhone. So let's take Apple for example. Apple has kind of saturated what they're capable of doing, right? There's not more people on the planet. Everyone knows about them. They've reached like great manufacturing capacity. Marketing isn't doing anything else. Like investing in autonomous vehicles, they're not doing that. That's not boosting it. So, in other words, they can't invest the money that they make. They make too much money to invest. At least that's how it should work. What happens is they buy the stock back. They will literally on the open market buy shares every day. So here you see Apple in 2013 has 66.2 billion shares, and they've been buying the shares back to the point where now there's only 4.355 billion shares. They've literally taken their profits and bought the stock that other people own, like you and me and anyone else selling Apple on any given Thursday. And that will reduce the amount of shares in the company. So, and this is one of the main reasons for Apple's really meteoric rise is just kind of the lack of float. Well, there's this whole thing called the stock market, Andrew, where shares are traded every single day, and there's always someone buying or selling. Just the way that it is. There's always someone buying or selling every day. The average 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 day on Apple, they transact 36 million shares. So some days they buy more, some days they buy less. But just like you go in and place a buy order, they sit there and just place buy orders. Buy, which results in this. Because keep in mind, if you look at this graph, since 20, this is a year over year quarterly growth. Look at Apple. They've had a negative quarterly growth. Looks like since 2013, apparently. I guess I don't really hop on the earnings. Um, Most trades are, well, yes, probably, yeah, probably. Rob, you are here all day, aren't you? Um, yeah, so bots do trade, but it's not a bad thing. You just like anything else in life, you just have to adjust to the environment. So look, there's something called high frequency trading, which is kind of a layer that sits. So if I place an order on E-Trade and E-Trade is going to send it to the exchange, and then the exchange sends it to the high frequency traders because the exchanges are assholes, and then the high frequency traders actually buy your stock before you do for like a penny or a tenth of a penny, and then sell it to you for that tenth of a penny higher. So if you're counting high frequency trading, then absolutely there's a lot being done by bots. Bots are kind of like a lot of bots are market makers too. What used to be done manually on the floor of an exchange by an individual that would just buy liquidity as it came in or needed to be filled um, was replaced by algorithms, was replaced by bots. Yeah, but it doesn't change. I don't think it changes that much. I mean, it could. I mean, maybe it does, and we don't realize it. But at the same time, we still, people like us are still able to do our jobs. It's probably you can almost think about it in the same way as in 20 years or 15 years or hopefully 10 years with autonomous driving. They go, is it true that most cars drive themselves? Like, yeah, they do. But there's still people on the road driving. There's still people driving that don't own an automated car. That's going to happen every day. Even when self-driving is pretty ubiquitous throughout, there's still people today without a smartphone. They can still use the network. They can still use the phones. You can still make phone calls all the same. Same thing with all this garbage. All right, let's go back, check out stuff. Looks like Nets up a little bit more. Oh, they came up more and pulled back, it looks like. Not in bad fashion either. That's a good pullback. I'm not really mad at that. Looks like a pocket pivot today. Well, it's earnings day. They should have better volume. Restoration Hardware and Roku trying to bounce back. Coming up to a gap area. RH finally starting to go. Probably. Although it did this the other day and then didn't go very far. I'm not sure that's true, Andrew. Boomers saying automation is taking away all of our jobs. Well, no, it's improving our quality of life. At the same time, unemployment is maintained and or even declining than historic times. Kind of. I mean, automation is, you're right, it is improving quality of life generally. That's a correct fact. But it's definitely moved jobs. It's definitely moved careers and jobs. Like it used to take farming is a great example. I think it's amazing. Yeah, not improving the quality of the product, right? Well, it's kind of moving because um, people it took to farm in 1900 versus 2000. Um, graph. Anyway, so like this is kind of a good graph. You have kind of like the people working on the farms, and then that's decreased dramatically. It used to be like, I don't know, 10 or 20 or 30 people per acre or something like that, and then now it's less one or less than one. It's crazy. It's super super low, and then the yields are also going way up, which is kind of what that's showing. Um, yeah, I mean, automate. It's obviously good and bad. It's kind of it's bad a little bit because the less remedial work you have to do, the more educated your population has to be in order to kind of maintain stuff. And I don't know any really great statistics. Um, I don't know any really great statistics on kind of where we're at in terms of that. 80% of the population used to work to support 100%. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. How much of the population works to support the rest? Maybe it's employment to population ratio. What's that? I haven't heard of that one. U.S. unemployment rate and employment to population ratio. So, civilian unemployment population, civilian unemployment rate. Okay. No. Uh, so quality of life. Okay. So life still demands an income. We still have an economy, so life demands an income, and if you're not as educated, and if most of the or all of the higher paying jobs you have to have some kind of an education or some kind of a skill. Anyone could kind of walk on a farm and kind of learn the ropes back in the day. You can walk on a farm, you learn your wage, you live in the barn. Maybe I'm just throwing an example out there, and then you go about your day, you work 10, 12 hours a day, whatever it is, and then you sleep and do your girlfriend the rest of the time and have 17 kids and then start your own farm, hopefully. Today, um, you're applying for jobs. You can't like go sleep in the barn generally. I mean, few you can kind of do that, but it's few and far between. There's some people that'll say, "Hey, I'll work for you for free for 6 months or whatever," and they'll live in a van. But anyway, my whole general point is that you know you have to like it costs a lot more money to live today than it did back then. So quality of life is good, yeah. Like in order to build the house I'm sitting in today, back in those days, was very difficult to do. And then at the scale that we're able to do today is phenomenal, absolutely insane. But it all does cost money, and like I guess I don't know, probably a good thing to look at is like we know wages have stagnated, we know about inflation. It is school's much more expensive than it was. I don't know. That's part of a much larger question. I'd definitely be interested in looking into that, Andrew. Yeah, I'm not sure if high quality life offsets the education demand. Well, yeah, if you have all of those, that's why no one's doing cable anymore. Got to have the phone though. Yeah, percentage of population farming. Yeah, it's also maybe jobs by industry over time. So thousands of jobs, 149,000 jobs to 161 to 169. So they're advocating less job growth. Yeah, see that's until the U. If the U.S. starts to decline and lose its world reserve power, then we're all screwed. Andrew will be fine though. Andrew, we're gonna have to come live with you when that happens. Can you make sure you got a few extra bedrooms? I got like a wife and two kids. I know Ellie's married. I think Rob's got family, so we're all gonna have to come live with you. Yeah, just make sure you buy a big enough place. 5 Teslas. Non-agriculture self-employed. Interesting. It actually went down. I don't think people think it's a great deal, Ellie. I think they think it's a necessity. And I mean, in some careers it is. If you want to go be an engine, I mean, oh, actually, you know what? Let's look at engineering trade schools. You mentioned they were there. I've never heard of them. Of course, I haven't been looking for them. Is the I don't think DeVry is still around, are they? Okay, let's say you want to become an electrical engineer, right? What are you talking about, Ellie? Blez coming down with his van. Well, with all of us coming to go park in Andrew better have wherever you buy that house, Andrew, on the coast of Australia. You better have some good ass parking. That's all I'm saying, and at least two outdoor showers. I'm not sharing a shower with Ellie ever again. I felt a lot less like I felt like less of a man after last time. Graduates watch graduate count per sector. Is that a thing? Yeah, yeah, they win points for that. Dude, come on. Andrew, what the hell, man? That's messed up. Well, fine, then I'm gonna fine, I'll build the damn showers if you're gonna be stingy like that, Andrew. Go to hell. I built a shower outside so I can shower out when I get out of the pool. I could build it on the side of your little house too. Messed up. Distribution of tertiary graduates by field of study. There you go. Yeah. I You did a good job last time, Ellie. It was super clean. It's I have a line of dirt in the middle of my back since then. Stupid wife won't watch my back for me. U.S. regions. Okay, apparently, never mind. We don't graduate college, so yeah, there you go. Oh, United States. Here we go. See, now you're thinking. Now you're thinking, Andrew. No, it is not, Rob. What? Uluru? You mean just on top of the rock, just the big ass rock, just a big effing rock. 115. Holy crap. That is hot as oh that's the record high. Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, I can do 101. That's no problem for me, son. This looks pretty nice actually. This is like Arizona light. Oh, that's the high. Yeah, that's still probably a little better than Arizona. Low 40. Maybe it's very similar. Yeah, I guess it's just very similar. 104, a couple degrees cooler in the summertime. Okay, not too bad. We're way off track at this point. What were we talk? What did we start talking about? What were we talking about initially? Oh yeah, Restoration Hardware making a big run. That's right. Roku net 6%. RH pays. I can't believe Facebook. Why is Facebook rallying? Because they're like Zuck's such a douchebag. We're making tons of money. President Trump is what? Orders targeting Chinese social media apps, TikTok and WeChat. Oh, gotcha. That makes sense. So Facebook all-time high breakouts, pretty high up there. Andrew, you're not a geography major, are you? We got a big spread between the haves and the have-nots today in terms of our highlighted coins. Big spread. GBTC taking a hit today. That's taking my account down. Is BTC tanking? Everything's so slow today. You know, show me up, Andrew. We can have a geography off. It's the it's the dumbest thing. What the hell is going on here? I was trading launch, but not trading view. Anyone else having any issues with trading view? Weird. Anyway. Hmm. All right, so markets not doing too bad, only down 0.18 on the Nasdaq. I'm gonna get going here in a little bit, guys. I kind of like that Roku turnaround right there. That looks pretty nice. Long-term turnaround play, breaking out good earnings, I guess. And they beat earnings. Yeah, Roku doesn't look too bad down here. Up 55% from last year. And for some reason, they threw in that Berkshire Hathaway purchases over 2 billion in Bank of America for some good reason. Andrew, it can go both ways. Rob, that was the lesson intended for the day. So you got it. You got it. Yeah, where'd you find those numbers, Ellie? And are those increasing or decreasing? Oh, in Slack? Oh, yeah, I don't have Slack up right now. At least it's buried. Oh, there we go. So you were discussing trade school versus colleges earlier. University of Michigan, where graduates with bachelor's degree from four flagship institutions work by region. Man, I think Andrew just wants to oversee from his fancy condo in whatever city is in Australia, other than Sydney. No. Okay. It's hard to find good data. Yeah, right, Ellie? Yeah, all those prerequisites and stuff, it's ridiculous. Better to go to percentage of health field of study graduates employed in the health industry. Doctorate, master's, bachelor's, associate certificate, certificate. Well, Andrew, we're gonna be driving. Remember, we're all gonna have Teslas. So we're somehow Tesla's self-driving is gonna take us from the US to Australia and we'll just drive right to the rock. Just make our get our shower ready, damn it. You could argue we actually need a lot of journalists, but freaking garbage media is overtaking good journalism. So that'd be pretty dope, Andrew. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I can't wait. See, the cool thing is those boring tunnels are in California and Las Vegas. So I was thinking about, it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll take a trip to Vegas and do a thing. Yeah, I saw that open AI thing, and then I heard that Elon Musk was loosely involved with it. I don't know if he was just funding it or opens it, but I think it's like it's an open source thing if I'm not mistaken, right? He owns it. See, what else does he own? See, I thought I knew what he owned. I guess he owns this too. What the hell else does he own? It's, yeah. Well, real journalists actually do good work. Real journalists. I think what a lot of people misunderstand is the place that newspapers and journalism has and how it's held America accountable since the beginning. It's the ultimate check to power is populace. And the only way you get that information is through, well, traditionally has been through newspapers and through journalists, people who every day go out and just look for crazy stuff, you know. It's the only way. It's the only way. Otherwise, you're just sitting there listening to Trump or Biden or Obama take everything at face value. Well, maybe now, yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue that, but what do you, I mean, I'm not saying media, Ellie. I'm saying journalists. Those are two different things. That's like saying, it's like advocating programming in Facebook. You see what I'm saying? It's not the same thing at all. You don't get Watergate without journalism. You don't get, I mean, name the story. Name the story. It doesn't happen without journalism. So, I mean, there's definitely, I mean, and they have to be held accountable when they mess up, like everybody else. But, it's, I think that's the big dynamic struggle right now is they're trying to keep journalism alive in an era where people don't give a shit, which is highly kind of frustrating. Yeah, you need good journalists. Maybe journalists should just crowdfund or something. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Ellie. But the hard maybe that's what I was just thinking about. I'm like maybe today in this media they could do. See, it's kind of a catch 22 a little bit because unless you got a journalist that is like really driven, hungry, and has some money. I mean, they got to have money in order to track these stories down. Like, I watched a documentary on the story of the yeah, some of those. Dude, to get Patreon though, you've got to have so many people. I've seen a lot of decent sized channels, and you go on their Patreon page and it says like 300 subscribers. Like unless they're giving them $100, unless they're each giving $100, it's not gonna make any difference. Oh, what do you do, Ellie? I don't pay for any news. What do you mean you don't need that many journalists? What are you talking about? Of course you do. It's a big country. It's a big nation. You need local journalists, you need regional journalists, you need national journalists. I mean, it's just pick any profession, you know. It's not like you can just have one programmer. Every company has to have their own programmers. So, what does that mean? Okay. I mean, so like what's your perfect world then in terms of getting information? What's your perfect? I would personally, if you want to type an answer, I'll tell you what I mean. I like the way things used to be, or kind of I guess the way things are a little bit right now, but it's just not as much bullshit, not as much salesmanship, but like actual journalism with journalists looking up stories, digging deep. Some journalists work on stories for years. You don't get Watergate from some dude walking by taking a picture and taking a picture, posting it on Facebook. You don't get Watergate by that. It takes some freaking hard hitting journalism. So where do they congregate though? Where do these independent creators congregate? Of course you do. You need 78,000. Hell yeah, you do. Why not? Well, first of all, we know most of them are going to flake out like every profession, right? You're not going to get, 78,000 new journalists and 78,000 are good journalists, right? You're going to have, every year X percent of that population is going to succeed, the rest are done. It's just, arbitration or arbitrage. Anyway, but you've got, yeah, you need a good amount. I don't know if 78,000 is the right or the wrong number, but no one, yeah, well, that's obviously an issue. Yeah, that's obviously an issue. But no, I'm not arguing. Like, I agree that we shouldn't have companies owning massive amounts of media, but we need people taking down stories. Period. And generally, the news, um, like NBC, all those guys should. Well, I don't know about should, but generally, that's where you've gone. That's where you've gone to find the stories, and they'll employ hundreds or thousands of journalists. And then there, but anyway, I don't know. I guess you know the media outlets where the journalists live. That's a good thing and a bad thing. You have to be able to find the story, and the journalist has to have some backing. So let's say you got a Patreon and a YouTube channel, and it's a fantastic story, but no one picks up on it. Well, who's they? The journalists? That's my point, Ellie. The stories aren't picked up. That's the problem. I think that's the main problem, of the last 30 years has been the fact that less good stories are being shown to people. And that is a problem with the media company. Absolutely. There's journalists doing good work, submitting stories that don't get airtime or get airtime at 2 a.m. or some stupid shit like that. And they shove on some talking head to talk about Trump for the next fucking 6 hours straight. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. 100%. 100%. I don't know what the answer is, though. Like, I don't know what the answer is. So you're saying share stories on Facebook and okay. Yeah, as long as they get the distribution, it's fine with me. But see, Facebook's not going to be the arbitrator. It's just going to be likes and shares and follows and stuff. And it's pretty much what that's going to be. But then we all hate Facebook. I don't like going on Facebook. We talked about the other day the monotony. I'll change it from garbage to monotony. There'll be a new paradigm someday. I don't know if Facebook is it though. But OpenAI does seem pretty cool, and I did not know this was owned by Elon. I thought he was just backing it. I didn't know he was owned by it. Governed by board of AI OpenAI nonprofit consists of Greg Brockman, blah 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 blah. Not Elon Musk. Where's Elon Musk? No mention of Musk on here. Zero. See, I thought he was backing it, or said he would back it. Yeah. See, I googled OpenAI Elon Musk. Pledge over 1 billion for the venture. Did he bow out of it or something? The organization was founded in San Francisco by Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and others. Wonder why he's not listed on their page. Maybe he didn't want to be. The messy, secretive reality behind OpenAI's bid to save the what? Save the world. Hmm. Yeah, man. When AI starts rolling out, we're not ready for this. Oh, they burned through their cash? Oh, okay. I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it burns through money. Oh, Elon left OpenAI on disagreement about company, so he left? Oh, okay. He left. Gotcha. So he's no longer involved with OpenAI. Okay. Goes SpaceX and Tesla, which both are killing it. It's pretty amazing. All right, how's the market doing? So we got Roku up six, we got Net up six, Pays up four. And I'm gonna get out of here, guys. My kids are up. I can hear them. I can hear them trying to murder things. One, two, three, four, five. Looks like Pays building a cup base and trying to build a handle right now. So, yep, we'll see how it goes. We never did figure out what Bitcoin was doing. Yeah, that would drive Elon nuts. That dude likes to that dude likes to work. He likes to work more than he likes his kids. Seriously, is anyone having any Eli having any issues with TradingView or Ellie? Just to call you Eli from time to time. Oh, something just happened. No. They're super slow. They've got issues today. All right, BTC down, only down 1.2. Not too bad. It's working for you. Wow, you saw mine was super slow. Full feature chart. Come on, full feature chart. Look how slow this is. They're limping along. ETH taking on the chin. Bitcoin going to consolidate. It's got a lot more. It's got some work to do. Not too mad at it. All right, guys, I got to bail. You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And actually, I won't. Today's Friday, so I won't see you tomorrow. Yeah. Unless you guys want to talk more about journalists, we can do a 3 hour live stream about journalistic integrity in MSNBC. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.